All right, welcome back to another awesome episode of Life on the Ave. This is episode 113. I am here with Scott Kammerer. Welcome. Thank you for coming.
And thanks for saying it right. You're doing a good job so far.
Thanks. I had to ask before we started, so I can't take any credit. But I'm going to quick jump into your bio, and I can't wait to hear all about you. So today we're sitting down with Scott Kammerer, CEO of SoDel Concepts, one of Delaware's most beloved and influential hospitality groups. SoDel Concepts was founded by the late Matt Haley, a James Beard Award-winning chef and humanitarian whose life story was one of redemption, resilience, and purpose. After Matt's untimely passing in 2014, Scott, his mentee and business partner, stepped in to carry forward Matt's legacy, purchasing SoDel Concepts with his family and partners to keep the restaurant family together. Under Scott's leadership, SoDel has grown to 26 restaurants and multiple related companies, including Southern Delaware Brewing, High Water Management, and Surf Bagel, all while staying deeply rooted in community impact through their nonprofit, SoDel Cares, which has donated hundreds of thousands of dollars to local causes. Today, Scott continues to lead the charge in redefining what hospitality means, especially expanding into new ventures like restaurant tech, repair and asset management, and wellness for hospitality workers through SoDel Well. So welcome.
Thanks for having me.
You were hard to summarize.
Was that a chat GPT?
Yes,
or was that...
of course. I can't take any.
That's pretty good.
Yeah,
that was pretty good.
But you were hard to summarize. Your bio was lengthy, and you can go any way with your bio, talking about Matt, talking about the restaurants, your background, all your charity work, everything you guys are doing. So it was very hard to summarize. So while that was a beautiful bio, you are a man of a lot. So thank you for coming on.
Thanks. And you summarized it good. And I always say, when you, like me, put someone with ADD in charge of something, this is what you end up with: a lot of offshoots and a lot of things and a lot going on. But at the core, I'm the CEO of SoDel Concepts, which is a 12 restaurant group. We're in coastal Delaware on the culinary coast. We have restaurants from Lewis all the way down to Fenwick. We were founded in 2004 by James Beard Award-winning chef Matt Haley. And really, we've just believed in cooking beautiful, simple food, developing the people we work with, and making the world a better place. And it's been pretty simple. And it's been, for me, just a dream come true. And, today's my birthday.
Happy birthday!
Yeah, thanks. Yeah.
Oh, we didn't even know.
Thanks for spending your birthday with us.
Thanks. Yeah. And I'm solidly in my 50s.
Nice.
So
nice. You don't look it.
I don't reveal my age.
Nice. So, good for you.
But this is like something good for me to do on and there's a lot of great places in Charlie Square. I mean, there's a lot of nice,
we are fortunate,
solid places. Yeah. And, Logan, you can go to Logan's Logan's house, and there's a lot of the Oyster House.
Kitchleen's, Rooney's. We've got so many great places. We're very blessed.
Yeah. And Wilmington has a really good restaurant scene going on right now. I'm really proud of a lot of the guys, because there were some years. I mean, I've been at this almost 30 years. There were some years I was like, oh my God, But I tell you, my sleeper pick is Lafia.
Yes, Lafia is phenomenal.
It's phenomenal. And I work with Brian Sikora a little bit. Yeah. God, is he talented, Yeah. But anyway, I end up talking about all these other people with me.
All good.
Yeah. So we're if you have a beach house, or if more importantly, if you have a friend that has a beach house, which is really the way to do it, or a relative, come and check us out at the Delaware beaches. We basically have 1 or 2, 3, sometimes 4 restaurants in each of the little towns up and down the coast. We have Fish On in Lewis and so on and so forth. We have Matt's Fish Camp. We have Blue Coast. We have Papa Grande's, and we were talking about Papa Grande's before.
Caitlin's favorite.
And really like some of the origins of Papa Grande's. So Matt Haley went to Mexico on a trip, came back, and he was like, we're opening a place. And I was like, here we go.
Here we go.
And then he says, I'm going to go to Puerto Rico for a month and work on a food truck. That's like his market research. And then I've made all these trips to Central America, El Salvador, Nicaragua. And I just fell in love with Central America, because all these years working in the restaurants, you work with people from Central America. And I really felt like I had a good vibe and feel for the cuisine and the culture. And then we opened that restaurant that's just been like this really wonderful place. Margaritas, tacos. I mean, really
you're speaking my language.
Yeah, it's like, that's like the little restaurant that could, that I've always been like so proud of. You know, we have Catch 54, which every year wins like best waterfront dining, and we've done a lot of weddings there. That restaurant actually burnt down in 2008 or 9, and then we rebuilt it, which is like the most amazing thing.
Yeah,
but it like burnt down. There was like a fence around it, and it was like still smoldering. And this lady came up and was like, "Are you open?" And I was like,
"It's my reservation on."
It's gonna be a couple months.
Yeah,
but,
give me a second.
But it like hit me. I was like, it's important to have restaurants and have them open, and when people come to visit, that we're there and we're available, and we spend time cooking and really focusing on what we want to do. So for me, like I just got back from Napa, and I did like a wine tasting.
I was gonna say, are you a
tour.
wine guy?
No, absolutely not.
No,
but I have to do the hard work.
Right.
I mean, it's hard work.
It's hard work
of going to the vineyards, and tasting and talking to people, and getting your hands on the grapes. And I mean, it was just like this wonderful experience.
Nice.
So it's funny. So I go, and they're like,
"Did you bring your wife?"
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, she's the
she's the wine lover.
But she's the secret behind the whole thing, you know. So we get there, and they're like rolling out the red carpet for us, and I'm like,
right?
These
Who
people
are we?
like we're having lunch with the owners of the end. We're like, and I'm like, well, what's going on? Like, why are you guys being so nice? And they're like, oh, well, the wine distributor said you were the biggest buyer of wine on premise in the whole state.
Wow.
And I was like, wait,
we are?
Did they tell you what state? And they're like, no, what state? You know, and I'm like, it ain't California, I can tell you that. So I'm like, it's Delaware. And of course they're like, Delaware? Like, and I was like, yeah, like we're like, so it was like just this incredible trip. And I just remembered that it's so important to get back and get a feel for like, you know, like you driving down the road and there's like Stag's Leap. I'm like, oh my God, I've been selling Stag's Leap, you know, forever.
Yeah.
Kendall Jackson and this, and they were so nice, but ultimately, you know, it's the relationships that you
for
build,
sure. Especially in Delaware. I feel like we're such a relationship place, and I feel like, you know, we're all so loyal to our Delaware brands.
Yeah.
So, you know, you guys are SoDel. Are you 100% based in Delaware? Do you guys have anything outside of Delaware?
We have one restaurant in Ocean City, Maryland, which I think is a suburb of Fenwick.
Yeah. I think that counts. I think that counts.
Yeah. So no, we're a Delaware restaurant. We're proud that, you know, we're in the first state, and I tell people all the time, like especially people in Wilmington, I'm like, you have a responsibility to go to the Delaware beaches.
Correct. Yeah.
Like I don't want to hear anything about the Jersey Shore.
I know, and I did
like
that
as much as I grew up in the Jersey Shore, and I love it.
Yeah.
But I think you're contractually obligated to go to. So we've really been the face of Southern Delaware and the face of coastal restaurants, and I've taken that responsibility like really greatly, and I've tried to be a good steward of that, and I've tried to really work hard to make it be an inclusive environment, you know. So for me, it's been like this incredible thing. Like we talk about SoDel Well. So we started SoDel Well, which is this wellness program that we started out. So like I got like a trainer to like make sure I like stay in shape. And then my wife was like, if you open another restaurant, you can't open another restaurant until you have like a full-time trainer. I was like, oh my God. So anyway,
I guess she loves you.
And she's like a fitness instructor and like in great shape.
That's her world.
And I'm like, oh my God. So I start training with this guy. His name is Hansel. He's my trainer.
Okay.
You know?
Hansel.
So he's like the perfect human being, you know? And I'm like, every morning I'm training with him. So finally I was like, you know, why don't I open this up like to people I work with?
Yeah. You're one of the largest employers in
we're like
Sussex.
the second largest in the county.
Yeah, in the whole county. So you employ a lot.
We employ a lot of people.
Yes.
So I was like, you know, why do I just have to be the only one? Of course, I didn't really want to do it myself either. Yeah. So I was like, why do I have to be the only one training? So we opened it up, and employees started coming, and we got like 10 employees. And then in typical fashion, like 6 months later, we like open our own gym. So now So now we have like 300 people come a week.
Wow.
Employees. And then I was like, you know, why just us? Like, why not the whole hospitality industry? So I call up the Starboard. I'm like, hey, they're like, oh my God, like
we're in.
Yeah. So the Starboard bartenders like work out with us, and I call Finn's.
That's so
and
cool.
So all of his people are working out with us, and then like
it's a community. You guys all have to support each other.
Yeah. So like then we just added yoga,
nice.
Which is like, when you listen. Food, alcohol, and people, 3 extremely highly volatile things.
Yeah.
The best thing that you could have is some kind of outlet for people. And it's really been this incredible thing. And it's been such a outpouring. We ended up getting this award from the Delaware Restaurant Association,
nice.
like an impact award.
And you're involved with the Delaware Restaurant Association.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. So the Delaware Restaurant Association. So the Bardet guys just won a big award.
I'm a big fan of Carrie Leishman. So she was my tenant back in the day.
Oh, really?
When I worked at Lang. She was a Lang tenant. So huge fan of her. She was just so inspiring.
Yeah, she's the best. And she says to me, she's like, so we need you to be the chairman of the Delaware Restaurant Association. I was like, Carrie, man, like,
let me just add it to my to-do list.
Kids, like, all this stuff going on. She's like, God, it's like kind of an honorary thing. Like, it's not even like, I just need you to show up to like 4 meetings a day. And I'm like, talk about an undersell.
Yeah.
So I become the chairman of the Delaware Restaurant Association. 2 days later, COVID hits.
I know.
They shut down
all the
restaurants.
Right. So you were super big in that time.
Yeah. So I'm like literally crying at home, and my kid's like, what's the matter with you? I'm like, I'm in charge of all the restaurants, and we just got shut down today.
Yeah.
And they were like, well, you'll be fine.
You'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. So every day on the call with Governor Carney and all these guys, and like,
it was a wild time.
Just like fighting tooth and nail. I actually saw Governor Carney, small state, I saw Governor Carney's chief of staff at a dinner the other night, and he thought I was going to like yell at him.
Yeah.
And I was like,
we're good.
Dude, like what you did was like a miracle.
Yeah.
Like,
I thought
it was like an unprecedented
we were blessed.
time.
Delaware handled it pretty well, I think.
Yeah, we handled it. Yeah. But I remember thinking like, I barely graduated high school. Like, who's put me in charge of this?
Right.
So, and Carrie was great. And I felt like, she really like helped me and made me like lend a real voice to what was really going on to the administration. And for us, the administration listened, and it ended up being like, kind of a miracle. But it's funny, talking about when I first took over the company, when Matt Haley died. Delaware's such a small state. Chris Coons used to call me all the time, like, how you doing? Do you need help? And I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. We had like 6 restaurants at the time. I was like, I don't think I can do this. And he was like, well, when I was tasked with trying to end famine in Africa, I was like, all right.
Okay. All right. We get it.
Bro, like,
we get it.
Yeah, we get it. Like, it's, so it like put it in perspective. I'm like, what other state can you live in where like the senator calls you? You know, and,
so you talked about Matt Haley. Do you want to kind of briefly talk about anyone that doesn't know his story?
So Matt, I'm sorry. Yeah. So
it's all good.
Yeah. So Matt was the founder of the company. And
he was the food. He was the chef, right?
Yeah. So he was a chef. He won a James Beard Award in 2014.
Yep.
And he was incarcerated for a number of years.
Yep.
And learned how to cook in prison. He had been in the restaurant business, but kind of really went through this program in Virginia and really got like a culinary background. Yeah. So he gets out of prison, and he's like in a halfway house, and got into the restaurant business, and then he comes to Rehoboth, and it turns out I really like didn't have a job and didn't have a restaurant. Yeah. So we met. I was like in my early 20s.
This is when you're moving here for your wife at this time.
Yeah, and my wife. Yeah, and he's like, hey, you want to start like a restaurant empire? And I was like, do I ever?
Early 20s, hell yeah,
bro,
man.
This is what I've been training my whole life. I'm 23, but this is what I've been training my whole life for. So we ended up partnering up and opening restaurants. We basically opened a restaurant a year.
Wow.
For, quite a few years.
Yeah.
So in 2014, he wins James Beard Award. He won all these awards, and we had like lunch with Martha Stewart, and like it's really going great. And he was in India doing some philanthropy work, and was riding a motorcycle and got hit by a truck and then died.
Yeah, really sad. Really sad.
Really sad. And it was like, he was like kind of right at the height of his success. And for me, it's like, I learned so much from him, and the lessons I learned, one of them was like courage and how not to back down.
Right, because at that point you could have just sold everything and just,
or whatever, who knows? Yeah. And I was walking through the restaurants, a guy came up to me and was like, "Mr. Scott, was washing dishes." And in in our restaurants, the stars are the dishwashers.
Of course.
They're doing
Yeah,
all the
I've heard
work.
multiple restaurant people say that.
So he's like, "Mr. Scott, what are we going to do? Am I going to have a job?" And I was like, "Carlos, don't worry about it. I'm going to take care of it."
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I had no idea.
No clue.
No clue.
No plan.
And, I partnered up with Alan Levin, who was just like this he grew at the Happy Harry's brand. So he was like
great family.
Great, unbelievable.
Family,
and he really was a huge help. And, I think like looking back on it now, like now that we're at like, going on 30 businesses, going back to like 6 was like you could see it clearly. So he like really gave me some good advice and some good guidance. So, fast forward to today and,
right. So we're talking 2014. So we're talking like in 10 years, growing it from 6 to almost 30 different, locations.
Yeah.
Like how do we scale? How do we do that quickly in 10 years?
And I think like, I used to say to my grandmother, she was one of 13. I'm like, "Grandma, like, how did you guys like
survive
growing up?"
Yeah.
She's like, "Don't worry, sweetie. The older kids raise the younger kids."
That's what my mom says. I'm one of 4. My mom says that.
And so I really think like, what we believe in, the principles of what we believe in carry through.
Yeah.
And I think ultimately people know like there's a human being at the top that's like making decisions and that has compassion and knows the business and understands what's going on, and they're able to help navigate the whole thing. And that's really what family is. And it's a group of people with shared values and shared ideas that rely on each other and are proud of each other and build each other up. So that was one of the things I really worked hard on, is developing the people we work with, like adding continuing education, doing like a leadership retreat, like having speakers come in, doing all these things that the gym, and we added all these things that I think in the restaurant business is the wild, wild west.
Yeah, it's rare.
It's rare, and I remember when we had 401k, everyone was like, "What is that?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "It means you can maybe retire someday."
Right.
And they were like, "Who cares about that? Like, I want my money now."
Now.
So, we added all these things, and I think that the one thing that happened, I think, is the coolest, is that all the other restaurants started
to do it.
And doing
Right.
it. So in a lot of ways, we've improved the whole industry, which is really what I'm most proud of. And that's, at my core, I'm a restaurant person.
Yeah.
I've never done anything else. And I just love food. I love people. I just love serving people.
Yeah, making people happy.
And when you're in the hospitality industry, there's a satisfaction from putting together like a perfect night for people. And for me, that's really what I fell in love with, and that's why that's why we do what we do. And we just have this like incredible group of people. People say to me all the time, they're like, how'd you get all these like incredibly talented and smart people? And I'm like, we're just blessed. But for the longest time, like when somebody new would come work with us, I'm like, "Hey, who's the best person you ever work with?" And they're like, "Oh, so-and-so,
Right. And you go get them.
No, it's, ask them if they want a job.
Yeah, exactly.
What I mean?
Hire them.
And so we had like, I was sitting around the table all the time. I'm like, my God, am I like the 8th smartest person at this table?
That's the point. That's how you get successful.
Point,
yeah.
They're like, "Oh, how can you handle it all and grow?" And I'm like, it's not like that. If you can't let go, then you can't scale.
You have to put people in the right seats and let them do what they do best.
And my job today is way different than I ever thought it was. Like, so I hired all these like great people. So we have like this incredible HR director. She was like superstar in business, and she's so smart and so sharp and so like direct. But any problem she can't figure out, it comes to me, and I'm like, oh my God. Like my whole desk is filled with problems that like the smartest people I know can't figure out.
Right.
So that's like what my whole...
It's a little scary.
Yeah, it's like a little scary. So
that's you just go to chat. That's what I do. Chat.
Yeah. So it's,
how do I handle these
so
situations?
It's funny. So like, we're having, so I hired a guy that does AI.
Nice.
In the restaurant. So he's been doing AI.
Because it does talk a lot about how you're super innovative and you're trying to like get ahead of the curve on a lot of these things. And AI seems to be that.
Yeah, super progressive. And so, I have no idea what AI is.
Right.
I'm in my 50s. Like, And
but
I'm
good
like,
for you for not fighting it. Because I
I'm
feel like most people in your position would be like, ah.
Yeah, I'm like, what, and then my AI guy figures out a way to make the payroll like 100% more efficient.
Wow.
And 10 times faster. And I'm like, well, what are we afraid of?
Yeah.
And it's not like it took anyone's job, but like it just made the people's job like easier.
Yeah.
And then it allowed like the people doing payroll to like focus on like some other stuff, like to make sure that this is right or this is right.
Bigger
right.
picture.
So it really didn't take away, it just like added.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So now I'm like, I wasn't like, this is the stupidest thing. But now it's like figuring out how to like schedule. It's figuring this out. It's figuring that out. Like we're coming up with a chat bot, So like, because when you're in a company, you're like, oh, what's going on with like? Do you remember what we did like so and so, or like what were sales this day? Like you can ask the chat bot now.
And it'll just spit it out.
It knows all your stuff, yeah, and
That's
then it
cool.
just spits it out. Wow. So like working on that, and then we're working on we send meeting minutes with the AI, but it can summarize like the whole week of the restaurant and tell you like what you need to work on and what this. And I'm like, this is a bossy thing.
Yeah.
Like it's telling me what to do. So so the AI thing's been very cool and very, very progressive. But in the restaurants, ultimately, the robots aren't going to take over cooking the food
right now.
But if you could crunch the data and give the artistic people more of an understanding of what's important and what's not, then where the rubber hits the road, they can focus more on that.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And then we have this other company we started called Restaurant Techs.
Okay. That was one of my questions.
You got questions?
Yes.
You got questions. So I'm just rolling with it. So we start.
No, I love it.
Yeah. So you don't have to drag it out of me.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah. So Restaurant Techs is a company. It's a small company, even though we're like the second biggest in the States. It's it's a small state. So we handle the point of sale systems. So we partner with this company called Toast, which is like the biggest provider of POS sales, and we do the install, and then we do the service, and then we do like a daily, weekly, monthly profit tracker for the other restaurants. So we started doing it just for ourselves, and now we opened up. We have like 100 clients throughout the state of Delaware. So we do all these other restaurants. We help them do the install, and because when you're a small mom and pop, you can't scale. It's like impossible,
right?
And all the time people are like, oh, you're so lucky. You have all these like extra people and doing stuff, and I'm like, I can share them. You know what I mean? Like I don't have to.
I'm not hiding anything.
I'm not a gatekeeper. Like.
Right.
And to be honest, like the restaurant business is unusual because the more good restaurants there are,
exactly,
the better it is. Like people get excited, they want to go out to eat, and like if people are really excited, they're like, "Oh, I'm going to go have an app here, and then I'll go here, and then tomorrow I'm going here." Right? I mean,
that's me.
That's me. That's all of us.
Bounce around.
Yeah, and if there's no good restaurants,
then no one's coming.
Then no one's coming.
Yeah.
So we don't have a problem at all. Like supporting, and there's a lot of our alumni that have opened restaurants and been
that's amazing.
Successful.
Yes,
and
that's the whole point.
That's really what you want. So anyway, so we start this tech company, and we have like 3 trucks on the road and tags, and I got like a logo. It's called Restaurant Tech. Try and keep it simple.
I love it.
Restaurant Techs, yeah. And they're on the road. We're doing installs.
Yeah, SoDel well. Like we're keeping these names simple.
Yeah. And so they're on the road. They're installing and setting up these systems and networks and all this stuff. So we ended up being like, like I said, I think we're the second biggest in the state, and it's just been, so incredible because we're in Sussex County, and we're based in Sussex County, and if someone has a problem, we send them out. We're home based, right behind Atlantic Liquors.
Great spot.
If you know where that is,
I think everyone knows where that is. I think everyone knows there.
So we're right behind Atlantic Liquors.
Nice.
So so it's been like this really, really, really cool thing. So
I love it.
And then we started Coastal Restaurant Repair, talking about, so like if you're in the restaurant business, everything breaks. Oh my God. Like shit's broken all the time.
Yep.
And it's one of the worst things. You're like, I got to switch the menu because the fryer's broken. The guy's got to come down from wherever, Philly or whatever.
On Wednesday, and it's, Thursday afternoon.
And then by the time they come, it's like overtime.
Yep.
So, we hired a guy for us. Then we hired another. So we have 4. And then I was like, why don't we like open it up to other people? So now it's called Coastal Restaurant Repair. We have 4 trucks, 4 techs. We do air conditioning, which is unbelievable because when air conditioning breaks,
especially the beach,
you might as well close the
and they break a lot. I'm learning through we have a shore house, like because you're by the sand and the salt water, your units are susceptible to breaking and having issues more often.
So anyway, so they start doing this work and
so you're very much a more the merrier type business, it seems.
Yeah. So one of my buddies calls me like, "Oh man, my oven's broken. I can't get it fixed. Whatever the company is, it's like $500 for them to come."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh well, we gotta go with them." So, and that's really what gave me the idea. I'm like, people are like,
just the service call.
Yeah, just service call. Yeah,
crazy.
Yeah. And it's like a trip charge, and
that's what I'm saying. It adds up real quick.
Yeah. So that's been like a successful thing too. So now I added that to the gym, and it's been like a thing. And then we have a soda company. Talk about ADD.
Sheesh.
So we have a soda company. We've been making Matt's homemade sodas.
Cool.
For
is that out of Matt's Fish Camp?
Mm-hmm. We were like, we
unique.
Can't drink this. And we're like, we should make some sodas. So we started making like orange creamsicle, and like we made this really awesome root beer, and we've been selling it. Now Cisco carries it, which is like the big purveyor. Right. So like other restaurants can order it and put it in the restaurant. So that's been like a really
nice little fun side thing.
Yeah. So we got a lot going on, but I think one of the things that my skill that I can bring to the table is I can like find some talent and somebody with like some ability and vision, put them in a position and give them some resources.
Yeah, let them run.
Driven.
And then let them run. And everything kind of has its seasons. Like, one day we're sitting around, we're like, what can we do? I'm like, we should ramp up the soda company, and like we ended up like getting like 5 new clients, and so that's been great. But ultimately I just feel like being a part of the beach is all I ever wanted to be. I wanted to be a part of the coastal scene, and like, and like you come down to the beach and you had a Matt's Fish Camp sticker on your laptop. So it's like, for people that are here, a certified minister.
Good for you. So you can marry people now.
Like, you're a man of the cloth. I'm like, well,
he does it all.
What happened was we were catering and the minister didn't show up.
Wow.
And I was like, we're gonna have the wedding because we're cooking the food.
Right.
Like, and they were like, so after that I became a minister.
Good for you. So you can always jump in.
So I started marrying people, and I'm like, kind of been busy with it.
I'm sure that's a whole other business venture.
Except it's for I don't like
Yeah. But you could. People do charge.
I have 100% success rate.
Good.
Yeah.
All
No divorces. I have no divorces on my thing. So that's been a fun thing. But the most enjoyable thing when you do a wedding is when you say, please be seated. And then everyone sits down. So at home, I started like doing like a sermon before we ate.
Dinner.
And they were like, Dad, you're embarrassing yourself. Do less. You know how kids are now. They're like, do less, bro, do less. I'm like, I'm a man of the cloth. So.
Oh my gosh. All right, cool. So let's get into a little bit more about the restaurant. So there's quite a few of them. Of all the restaurants, which one was the most fun to open?
I'd say Matt's Fish Camp Lewis was like my favorite. Like I just love Matt's Fish Camp. Like it feels like it's my personality.
Yes, I could see that.
It's like casual and fun, and it's got like bright colors, and it just was more of a fit for me. And it's like tiny and like a circle, and
like hole in the wall.
Like it was like a really good fit. So talking about Matt, like I always tell the story. So Matt's and Lewis is the first restaurant I built completely by myself after he had passed away.
Wow.
It opened like in 2014, like right after, somewhere in there. So like I like built it, and I was so stressed out, like I just wanted to be perfect. Like my wife was like, that's when she made me get a trainer. And so I was like so stressed out. So it opens and it's like so beautiful. You know, when you make it, it's like your baby's always the cutest. You know what I mean?
Totally.
So so I like take a picture of it. The lights are all on. I take a picture of it and I text it to he had since been passed away, but I texted to his phone.
Yeah.
And I was like, I just want to tell you that I built this restaurant and it's named after you. And I want, whatever.
Yeah.
Therapeutic,
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
But I didn't know this, that they reassigned the numbers.
Nice. Okay.
So the person texted back, like, oh my God, I'm so proud of you. It's beautiful. And I was
Creepy. It's a little creepy.
I was like, oh my God. Yeah. But then I realized, oh my God, that's not him. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I was like, I was really kind to that person.
That was
Because they
nice.
could have just been like, oh, you're a bum.
F
You
off.
know what I mean? Yeah, like F off. Yeah. So they were like, oh no, it's beautiful. You should be really proud of yourself. And I like started crying. I was like, oh my God, this is.
That's
so
so
for
sweet.
me, that's like, always been my favorite. And now I'm going to cry. Yeah. No. So, but, and what dishes, like each restaurant has like a dish I just love. And I always tell the chefs.
Or you have to have a go-to at each spot.
Yeah,
probably.
I'm like, look, people come to restaurants sometimes just for one dish.
Absolutely.
And that dish is
over and over and over.
and over.
I never
And-
try
I do have a
anything
bone
else.
to
and a lot of times it's the first thing you get. So like I get the chicken parmesan at Lupo because when I'm in the movie Chicken Parmesan, I go to Lupo.
That's
I get
where
a
you're
chicken
gonna
Parmesan. Yeah, and it has to be exactly the same and right. I said, you can mess around with all this other stuff and up and down, but at the end of the day, what is the core elements of your restaurant have to be there at all
Right.
times.
All times.
And
You have to count on those.
you have to count on those because and people will mix it up a little bit.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like, I've gotten a bucatini so many times, lobster bucatini.
Yeah.
But like my son, like who travels a lot, he'll come home after like 2 years. He's like, Lupo, lobster bucatini. Like that's
Same
it.
thing.
I'm like, all right, bro, we're going.
Yeah.
So that's a big part of what restaurants have to be. And you want to be a safe bet and be consistent, but you also want to be cutting edge and exciting.
fun.
So
Yeah.
like, how do you do that? And fun.
Right.
So how do you match those things up? So, trying to be a little bit of everything at once and letting people's personalities come out, I think is a really big thing. Like I love that's so stupid. No one eats grilled cheese. They cost like $2.
Right.
And they were like, no, dude, we'll make like awesome grilled cheeses.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, let's see.
Yeah, roll the
So
dice.
They come out with like,
Crushed it.
oh my God. And I'm like, God, and I'm like, I have to stop eating these things. So
That's why you got the trainer.
Yeah, right. So you just never know what's
Right,
going to be a hit and what people are going to like.
But yeah, you have to stay cutting edge. You got to keep up with all these people's demands. What's your favorite dish? If you had to pick one, like this is like, what is it when you're
Death
like
meal?
death meal? Yeah, like what's your death meal?
Oh, if I
all
was
your
on death
restaurants.
row, it's like my
yeah,
last
death
thing.
row final meal.
I think chefs are like simple, so like the simpler the better.
Yeah.
So like Cottage Cafe, which is like dune fries, which is like a loaded fries.
Yes, you're speaking my language.
And like a crab cake sandwich would be like
Yeah,
be
so
like
you're
my
super
kind
Delaware
of thing,
Beaches.
or like the crabby fries.
Who's got the best crab cake sandwich?
Honestly,
Are they the same everywhere? Or
No,
are they different?
they're slightly different because like crab cake sandwiches like your grandmother made it, or like
Everyone
whatever,
makes
or
them
like I
different.
got it like this.
Too much
You're
filling,
dealing
not
with, like,
enough
remember,
filler.
not enough filling. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like I kind of let we're not a chain, so I kind of let
Yeah.
each chef kind of shine
Yeah.
through. So each place is slightly different, and like people are like, oh, it's not exactly the same. I'm like, yeah, it's not exactly the same. Like every restaurant's a neighborhood restaurant. Like Blue Coast Bethany, for example, is
But
a
Delaware
neighborhood.
Beaches are so neighborhood, and
Yeah,
they're
they're
so
so
loyal
neighborhood.
to their neighborhoods.
Yeah.
Yes, I think that's
Blue
smart.
Coast is always packed.
Always packed, yeah.
Always.
So it's like, I'm like, it's a neighborhood restaurant. And I'm like, yeah, except the neighborhood that it's in is like
Yeah.
really nice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it was funny because I was in Napa. They were like, yeah, this restaurant sells the most cake bread of any restaurant, cake bread wine, which is like really beautiful wine. And I was like, what's the name of it? They go, Blue Coast? And I was like, oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Guilty. Yeah, we sell a lot of cake
Sounds
bread.
on brand.
Yeah, sounds on brand. So, like people will text me all the time for like a table at Blue Coast. They're like, could I please?
Yeah, how do you manage
I know the
that?
Can I
owner.
please come in? Yeah, I know the owner. And I'm like, listen, if I'm blessed enough for someone to get my number and they ask me for a table, I'll give it to them all the time.
Help, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Noted.
And yeah, exactly. So if you get my number, you go. And I'm like, dude, we're in the business of being, and like sometimes my people get mad at me. They're like, dude, really? I'm like, you know, like I'm down. Like, like if you get my number and call me, like I'm not giving you my number. Yeah, but I can never say no. Like, you know, either a donation or like the high school concession
I'm
stand.
similar.
Yeah,
I'm similar. If it's like $100, I'm never going to say no. Yeah. I literally will never say no to if it's somebody that's like I've never met and they're asking for 10 grand, I'm like, okay, maybe, you know.
So we have a foundation that has been giving these grants out for a long time, and the application process opens on December 1st, closes on December 31st, and then we go around the table and, you know, decide, and pick. And when the money's out, the money's out. And it's been like this great thing. Wow. Like it's been
what types of organizations have you guys worked with?
So you name it, like Meals on Wheels, Pathways to Success. Like, so Fish On, we serve all the Meals on Wheels for to all the homebound seniors in the morning. So I had no idea what Meals on Wheels was. And they come to me, they're like, hey, will you do the Meals on Wheels? And I was like, seems like a lot. They're like, well, it's like 300 meals a day. I'm like, that's a big donation. I'm like, forever? They're like, yeah, forever. I'm like, okay. So we end up like doing it. And then I found out, they're like, oh no, we reimburse you for the meals. I was like, oh. Because I remember telling some of my people, they're like, are you insane? That's going to be like, you know, so we end up, so it's funny because if you ever want to like get with like any politician in Delaware, they always show up to deliver the Meals on Wheels from Fish On. So like, so I get to meet like a lot. I've met like all the movers and shakers.
That's awesome.
So it's been like a cool thing. And so it's funny. So people are so crazy. So like we announced, Fish On, which is, you know, we've been there for 20 years. We're going to serve all the Meals on Wheels meals in Eastern Sussex County. And someone's like, I can't believe you're changing the Fish On menu to be like Meals on Wheels. And I was like, whoa, wait a second. Yeah, wait a second. Like, like Facebook's crazy, by the way.
Crazy.
Like people are crazy. Like, I'm almost
too much time.
Yeah, and reading comprehension's like really bad.
Down. Oh
like
grammar's
down, tremendous. Yeah,
down.
So I've learned to like simplify my message over the years, like keep it pretty like basic and simple.
Bare bones.
Like, and you know, we believe in cooking beautiful, simple food, developing the people we work with, and making the world a better place. And that's like as simple as
that's what we're here to do.
Yeah, that's what we're here to do. And it comes back all the time. And people are like, we should do this or this or this. I mean, it does seem like I'm doing a lot of things.
You are doing a lot of things.
Yeah, but you can imagine when I say no to. And so I'm like, does it come back to one of our core principles or does it not? Like, and if it doesn't,
so
like,
easy,
we're not doing it. Yeah. So we try and keep it simple. And, you know, we try and be the quintessential Delaware Beach restaurant group is what we try and do.
It's amazing.
And that's really at the core of what we're trying to do. And I tell you what, my biggest enjoyment is helping the people we work with. You know, when they get married, or house, or car, this or that, babies, or get a promotion. I'm like, you know, like there was a time when I would like help them negotiate. I'm like, you need to negotiate for like more. And they were like, okay, you know, like write it down. I'm like, you need more PTO, and I'm like, you need to take your PTO and go more, because you know, it seems like I'm like counterintuitive but like. The happier and the better they are, the better.
And then you're not retraining and starting over all the time.
And you want people to stay and be a part of the culture because it takes a long time for culture to sink in.
And you're very much a family-run company. You know, your wife's involved with the business. You're with the Levins, who's very much family-run. So, like, you want to instill that in your people. Yeah,
you want family. And the thing is, like your work family ends up becoming closer.
You spend more time with them.
Spend more time with them.
Yeah, totally.
So, you know, there's people I've been working with for 20, 25 years, and it's almost gotten to the point where like I don't need, because you know early on you need like this is how we do things, and now it's like, you know, it's starting to take on a little bit of their personality, which is like for me been the most enjoyable thing.
Yeah, and that's our goal here. I mean, I've only been on the team for 4 years. My husband's been doing this for like 8 or 9 years, and that's our goal here. Is like when people come and join our team, they stay and they want to be here, and
people find the roles. You know, like we have one guy that like. He does graphic design and he does some of the equipment repair. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so it's a little bit of everything.
But you find people that are like, you know, hold the whole thing together and like have these incredible skills that if they were in this big, massive IBM type organization, you know, ultimately people are like, oh, you have this big organization. I'm like, first of all, we're in the restaurant business. at the beach. So
Right.
we ain't IBM, you know,
Right.
we're not DuPont. We're not any of those things. We're still a small independent group where you can get the guy on the phone,
Right.
or, you know, whatever. So,
So we're coming into the holiday season. Anything you guys have coming up? Anything that's exciting as we enter like the Black Friday and the Small Business Saturday and all that? Do you guys have anything fun planned for the holidays?
Yeah, for me, like my wife just called me on the way up, and she's like decorating the restaurants for Christmas.
Yeah, so I was at the beach this weekend, and all the outlets are blasting holiday music. Like they are ready to go.
I try not to be too quick because it drives me crazy when they put the Halloween candy out like on August 1st.
September.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. My kids are mad at seeing Halloween or Christmas because they're like, "Where are the turkeys? Like, are we just skipping Thanksgiving?"
And I really don't like to skip Thanksgiving.
Me neither.
And we have this huge Thanksgiving at Baywood where we have like 1,000 people.
Yeah.
And you know, like you want to have a family thing, but sometimes it's like, it's a lot. Plus,
lot.
you're at the beach, and you're like, you want your family to come and spend time with you. You don't want to be cooking. So we do like the Cottage and Baywood both do like huge blowout Thanksgiving things, and I'm like, you can't have Christmas decorations up
Right for that.
So I'm like, you gotta like, you know,
keep the cornucopias and the pumpkins out.
yeah,
get the leaves.
you gotta be. And the other thing is like, I don't like people put Thanksgiving stuff up like in September. I'm like, it's still beach weather in September.
Yeah. September,
like,
October is the best time at the beach.
Like, yeah, you could be
I
at
was
the
on the
beach.
beach this weekend.
Yeah.
In the sand.
Yeah, you don't want to have like a turkey.
No,
You're gonna have
yeah.
a turkey dinner on.
Yeah, I'm still vibing. We were still like trying to eat seafood.
Yeah,
and,
so
like,
in a lot of ways we're like a little slow to that, but with Shelville and the outlets it's kind of hard.
I
You
know,
gotta
they're
be
shoving it
ready
down your
to
throat.
go. They're shoving it down your throat.
Shelville was ready to go.
Dude, they're ready to go.
They're ready to go.
Yeah, which is awesome.
I know, it's amazing.
Yeah, so like Christmas for me is like the day after Thanksgiving to
really start
to New
that.
Year's.
Yeah, totally.
You know, in the old days, we used to close after New Year's for 3 months, and now I was
Not
like looking at the
anymore.
numbers. I'm like, we serve like
No,
a
we're
couple
huge.
thousand people a night.
Yeah.
I'm like, we couldn't close. I mean,
No.
people would.
Well, Delaware beaches have become so year round now. Like that's no longer really the
Absolutely.
MO. People are retiring down there.
Yeah.
They're there full time.
Which is amazing to me because when my oldest son was born, we had to drive to Salisbury to get a crib because there were no stores that sold cribs. Yeah,
And that's how many years ago?
30 years ago, yeah.
Right.
30
yeah,
years
so
ago.
it's changed so much in 30 years.
yeah, and now like
All those Jersey people and Maryland people
I
that
know.
were
We're
sleeping
getting a
on
whole-
Delaware
bless
all
them,
moved.
bless those souls for coming.
All moved.
Yeah,
and all
I'm
the
happy they're here.
Delawareans are like cranky
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah, they are, but-
you know, it is what it is. That's what's brought all the life.
Yeah, and to me, it's been like, look, I liked it when it was quiet, and I also like it now. Like you have to roll with the punches,
Yeah.
and roll with the time, and you can't like wish like it used to be a certain way.
Yeah.
you
It is
know,
what it is.
yeah, it is what it is. There used to be no podcast. You know what I mean?
So I have a fun
Yeah.
question for you. So Sam's someone that's never been to any of your restaurants, never been to the Delaware beaches.
Yeah.
I'm going to come in for, let's say, one day. So I've basically got 3 meals at the Delaware beaches: breakfast, lunch, and
Yeah.
dinner.
Oh, I
where
got
would
you
be?
covered.
Where would
Yeah.
be? Where would you send me?
Yeah, I definitely would go to the Surf Bagel for your breakfast, and pretty soon we're gonna have one across from Christiana Hospital,
Yep,
so
everyone
you can
is
check that out.
excited
Yeah, super
about
excited.
that.
So it's gonna
Huge
be
news.
like you're having a beach girls weekend without having to drive a couple hours and be
I
in
love
traffic. And then I would do lunch at Blue Coast Rehoboth, have a dozen oysters and maybe a glass of Trefethen Riesling.
Yes.
And then for dinner, I would go down to Catch 54 and overlook the Assawoman Canal and have a beautiful seafood or steak dinner at Catch 54. And that's pretty much, I've had a few days like
then,
that.
yeah, sure. And then go to Papa Grande's
and then
for
go
some
to Papa
margaritas.
Grande's for
Margarita
margaritas and
nightcap.
happy hour. So we got you covered. And,
Sorry.
you know, we want people to get the full experience of the Delaware beaches.
Absolutely.
And it's, listen, restaurants are a big part of people's lives. And it's,
Yep.
and it's a big,
We don't cook. Her and I are not cooks.
yeah,
Like,
and it's a big responsibility, and that's the one thing we found out during COVID. Like, nobody can cook,
no.
and we would die.
Yeah, we would
Like,
die.
We would starve.
I would die.
If we wouldn't starve to death. Our level of care would go dramatically down.
Yeah.
for sure. So
Depression
that's why
levels would rise.
Restaurants are important, and we need
Yeah.
to be there for people. And you know, I say to my team all the time, we celebrate anniversaries and when people are happy, they come to us. When they're sad, when someone passes away, they come to us. You know, when they have milestones in their life, they come to us, and we have to be on and ready to go. You know, you have to have your 4 pens in your apron pressed,
Ready to go
before the door opens. On. and you have to be on, and you have to let go of everything else and be there to provide hospitality. And I think we've done a really good job of that, and that's one of the reasons we've been successful year after year. This year we served 2 million people, which is double the population of the state of Delaware.
Awesome.
And for me, it's being part of the community, which I love doing.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, thank you so much. I feel like that's a good spot to end it. Where can people follow you? I mean, I guess all the individual restaurants have their own pages.
Yeah, all the restaurants have their own. Then SoDel, if you go on SoDel Concepts, it has links. And then, we're just going to keep doing what we do. And just, I think it shows that, we love serving people and we love being at the Delaware beaches. And look, I don't want to ever be anyplace else. I love Delaware Bay. I love going out on the boat. I love surf fishing, though I hardly catch anything.
Oh, yeah.
And I just love... I love that we get to see people at their best a lot, because when you come to the beach for the weekend, you're usually in a good mood, and we get to see a lot of positivity,
yeah, good vibes,
and good vibes, and people that are happy with the direction their life is going. So we're going to keep doing that for as long as we can.
I love it. Well, you were awesome. Thank you so much for coming on. I'm sure we'll have you on again, and we'll talk all the things we missed. I knew from when I first got your bio, this would be you'd be a hard person to summarize in a short amount of time. But as we said, we're not Joe Rogan as much as we'd love to go for 3 hours. But thank you so much, Scott, for coming on.
Thank you.
Another awesome episode of Life on the App, and we'll see you next week.